say farewell to my life on earth. I will be with Jesus. No more tears will fill my
This morning, and we welcome each of you to the R.B. Simmons Day program. This program would not happen without you. It would not happen without the volunteers. So we want to say thank you, and also it would not happen without our leadership giving us the approval to do this. So we want to say thank you to each of you. This program was named after our late minister, Brother R.B. Simmons, in dedication for his hard work, for his love for people, and the lives that he's touched. Many of us know him. We've sat under his words, his encouragement, his many days of preaching and teaching us, and we are truly thankful to him for that. So this program was named after him because of his work's sake.
In memory of Brother Simmons, I'm happy the Lord has blessed me with 67 years. I was born in Georgia, and I came here when I was 19 years old, under the teaching of Brother Simmons. I obeyed the gospel through the teaching of Brother and Sister Morton. I'm mother of 3 children. My hobby is sewing. My mother had 17 children. I'm the 3rd child out of them 17.
She's a member of 23 Church of Christ. She's been a member of the church since 1973. She has 3 kids, 2 girls and 1 son, and she has 6 sisters and 3 brothers. She says she was born in Georgia, and she loves her church family and her immediate family. And she's a really nice person.
Yes.
She was in the church for 66 years. She has 5 kids, 2 of them are alive still. She has 3 siblings, 1 has died. She was a nurse in the labor and delivery for 35 years at Bayfront and also all children. She loves to help people. Sometimes she also reads. She's very good on making potato salad, and I can attest for that. Yay. And she says whatever her hands find to do, she does it. She loves the Lord.
She's been a member of 20th Street Church of Christ over 30 years. She had 5 children, 3 girls and 2 boys. Her husband name is Jerry English. She loved to cook. Her favorite dish is macaroni and cheese. She has 4 sisters and 3 brothers, and 1 passed this year. There's also a set of triplets in the family. She's a person people, loved game shows and exercising. She worked at Macora's for 15 years. She's now at Simmons at Tyrone Mall. She's been there for 15 years. The love of God, most of all, is her major interest. Thank you.
And I'm going to introduce one of my favorite people, Sister Willie Burley. She is about to be the big 7-0.
Amen.
She became a member of the church 37 years ago, and she loves to take care of the sick. She says homebound people can't take care of themselves. She has a son, Solomon, and a husband who's at home, and just pray for him because he's been ill, okay? But she's a wonderful, wonderful person. She loves people, and she goes out of her way to do everything that she can for the church.
Just some few exercises, okay? So before we have our lunch, okay? So you all can kind of...
I'm gonna trade my earthly home for a better one, bright and fair. Christ left to prepare a mansion for his children in the air. I'll join him in that land where tears no sorrow can be found, and I'll receive my mansion, robe and crown. The weather there is always fair, there's sunshine day and night. No cold and no rain will fall there, for the sun shines ever bright.
This morning, I guess to enrich our understanding of the scripture. It's coming from 1 Timothy, the 5th chapter, starting with verse 1. And it reads, "Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren, the older women as mothers, the younger as sisters, with all purity." I read it to your hearing from 1 Timothy chapter 5, verses 1 through 2. Pray that we can absorb this, understand it, and apply it to our lives. Let us pray. Righteous and loving Father, we come to you again since last we prayed, just thanking you for another day. Thanking you for allowing us to see it on this time side of life with a reasonable amount of our health and our strength. We come to you, Father, knowing that thou art God, and thanking you for allowing us to see this day, to participate in this program, and just be strengthened by the people around us. Father, we always need mercy and forgiveness for our transgressions, and we ask for your strength in those areas that we're weak. Help us to be stronger. Help us to be more loving. Help us to care for one another. Be with us as we go through this day and all through our lives, praying that we'll continue to obey your will, thanking you for all the countless blessings you bestowed upon us up to this present time. And all these things we thank you and ask you for in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Oh my gosh. I was never an outdoor person. But, let me see, what you call that thing with the stones and the ball? No, they were jacks. What's jack stone? Yeah, jack stone. That was one of my favorite games. We played the inside or outside. Yeah. Yeah, and how you played them, you know, I don't know how many ounces used the number 10 was in a pack, and then there was a little ball, just a little round ball like that. And you would just throw them up, throw them out, and try not to touch the other one, any of them, you know, when you're picking them up. Now, you can pick them up in 3s, 4s, how many ever you can gather, but you can't touch any of the jack stones with your hand. So it was sort of, you know, a technique to do it, and the person who gathered all the jack stones got more.
I played that, but I probably played it wrong.
That was the only one.
My favorite was mine was basketball. So many, I played so many games because there were so many of us. My favorite was hide and go seek. Did you ever play that? Yeah. The alligator. And it was fun. It was fun. Well, you know, it was, the kids used to be outside all day. Your mother said to make you come in. So, mud pies. I played hard like I was working. So they would have to tell you to come in, you know. So it was so many of them. But the most favorite was, she used to make us come in and sing. And we had to know our notes. And if you didn't, you got hollered at. So when I was a little girl, I could stay with my tune. If I didn't, I knew what would happen to you. So
that was a must, and we get to do that practically every day. My sisters and
I. My favorite thing, it was like several things too, like hopscotch and stuff like that. My favorite thing was playing house with my sisters and my neighbors' kids, because we lived in the country and we used to pull these these long leg grass, we pulled them up, and those would be our children. We'd braid their hair with bows on them and everything like that, and that was my favorite.
I think my favorite one was shooting marbles with my brothers. I used to love shooting marbles with my brothers, so that was one of my favorite things.
There's a lot of things, but I used to like to jump springboard. You know, it's one person on one side and the other, and we jump to see which one could jump the highest. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Springboard and what you call this? We called it one on the other end, and we go up and down. One did seesaw, softball. We used to play a lot, and it was just fun days.
Well, I played different kinds of sports than you guys did. We played hide and seek and all those things. And most of the time we played a lot of football and tag and things of that nature. Yeah, we were just a bunch of active kids doing a lot of different things.
My favorite thing was to play hide and seek and going for walks and swimming.
I got all these other crazy games, but I just want to tell one what was so cute to me. For my sister, she would catch on what I was doing. I had the guessing game, and then I would put, and whatever hand they hit, is something in it. I would give them something, and then if they hit nothing, you didn't get anything. And I kept doing. She would say, and she already know Liddy. She'd say, I ain't playing no more, because I don't remember when. I said, keep on playing, you might win the next time. She would see you win, but see, if I do some of the rest, they didn't know no different. I could skip. And my other sister, Rhoda, we had a sister named Pauline, and if she would win, I said, okay, Rhoda, sing your song. Hey, Pauline, where you been so long? She said, I've been in the storm, and I've been so long. But I just said, and we made dolls out of soda water balls and put those little corn stuff, stick it in there, make him doll. It was just a lot of fun, because it was 6 or 7 of us really could play. And we had all these things, the guessing games and all. And my mother, she was very strict, and she would leave the house, and we had the ball on the porch. Don't you go out and hold her. If she say don't do it, you don't do it. And one time, our ball ran off when it went off. And I never forget this man named Mr. George Brown. I said, Mr. George, will you come get our ball? He said, you can't go. No, Mama said not to come out.
he come in, he told me, "Oh, you don't let children go off the porch." When I say something, I mean what I say. And that was the way it was. But we had a lot of fun being kids, because see, you didn't have the money. You had to make up your little games and had fun with it. The Sister Pauline, she used to be going around the house with her little purse, and I guess she thought that was cute. Smoking. I said, well, son, ain't nobody in our house smoking. But it was just a lot of fun, so I enjoyed what we was doing. Very much so.
Well, I'm not going to do like Sister Norris. We have a lot of games. I played all of them. But my favorite one was playing house too. We built our house. We even built our house in the woods, because I was in the country. We had beautiful little houses. We built a fireplace. We cooked. We had the doll babies pull up grass and make the doll babies. We took the corn shuck and make the doll babies. Whatever we could find and make the children, you know. So we just had a good time. And my favorite one too was flying kites. We made our own kites, and we fly those kites, and that just was a beautiful thing to see them go up. Sometimes they wouldn't go up because we had them too heavy. We had to bring them back down, redo them, and that's that.
Well, I see I'm not the Lone Ranger. I grew up in the country too. When I say country, I mean way out. Way out in the woods, between two ponds, two lakes, I'm sorry. And we made everything we played with. It was a lot of us. It was 7 of us. So we made our own kites. I had cousins in the house too. They were marker shooters. I learned to shoot markers. And I learned to play cards. Of course, they weren't allowed in the house, but they kept them under the oak tree. And when my grandmother and mother left, everybody would dip out and play cards. So I learned to be a good card player. Didn't like it, but I did it. A lot of things we couldn't do. We grew up on a tobacco farm, so I never learned to smoke. I hated the stuff. And I tell anybody, if you want to smoke, go to a tobacco farm first. It stink, it's nasty. So that's my little feel for tobacco. So I tell anybody, I grew up on, I don't know anything about cotton, but we raised plenty of tobacco. I picked peas, picked tobacco, corn, and a lot of other stuff, but never cotton. So I'm against anything that has to do with tobacco. But we made our own toys out of cans. I learned to sew early, sew fabric. I could just go on and on and on. I don't want to take that.
My favorite thing was hopscotch. And we made kites.
And love kites too. Everyone loves kites.
That's right.
I never did. I was trying to peacock tree and rail.
I grew up in a small town in Georgia. We weren't in the country, but the city itself was country. We played lots of games, but my thing was to never let anyone tighten with me. Whatever my brother did, I could do better. That was my thing. And I got lots of bruises and scars on my body right now. But I enjoyed my brother. But we had fun. We had classes. We had things that a lot of people didn't have. And I guess life was hard, but it was good. As far as I'm concerned, it was good. We had a good life. I can't remember us really wanting for anything. And my mom had 12 children, so it was a house full of kids and a small house. But man, that's what I just
We played just outdoor games that all the kids played in the neighborhood ball. But the main thing that we liked was the board games. Dominoes, checkers, we still do that. When I visit my sister, who's 93 years old, she won't let me leave until we play Uno or Yahtzee or some kind of board.
Part of my childhood was right here on this street, across the street. When we first came to St. Petersburg, we lived next door to the church, where the parking lot is now. And we would play red light, green light. That was a fun game where we had to run and stop when someone would say red light. And if you kept running, you were out, and you had to get back and start again. So that was fun. We also played four square with the ball, bouncing the ball. But one of the fun games that we played was, I guess it would be like softball. But we didn't have all the fancy equipment. We just had sticks and rocks for bases, you know, bricks or whatever we could find. And one day we were playing and I was really running hard to get to first or second base. I can't remember which one it was, but I slid into the base and hit my head on the stones. And when I got up, part of my eyebrow was still down there. And it's still missing to this day. I didn't get it back. But it was fun because you were, you know, back then, the kids didn't get a lot of, video games and TV and, store-bought games. So we used our imagination. And I think that was really important. It was fun.
We played, if we had a large family and we lived out in the country, when we played like hide go seek and that the maypole and different other games we played. So, and I had lived in the field.
Well, my two main things was I like to play dollhouse. But my favorite was to aggravate my brother. I used to steal his marbles because I had to play marbles too. And then he'll say, "You got my marbles?" I said, "No. I'm going to tell Mama." I said, "I don't care. I'll find something to tell on you." And then I played Jack Stone. Whatever else they played, I played. I did pretty good.
My favorite game was Jack Stone and jumping springboard and throwing a horseshoe.
Hi, my favorite game was Scott, but we played a lot of the other games that were called and mentioned. My favorite was Jack. I love to play Jack Stone, as they call it now. Thanks.
My favorite was when I used to jump off the diving board at Rock. We used to roller skate and have a long line up the Mason-Dixon line. Whoever was at the end, somebody in front of you cut you off and you go flying into the bushes. And we used to ride on the bicycle and stand on the back of the bicycle on the back wheel. And if you run in the bushes and it hit, you fall off the back of the bicycle. So we had a lot of fun doing a lot of games, playing jacks and everything.
Having the fun that we had. It was all homemade and it was all good and healthy for us. We got lots of vitamin D out in the sunshine. And not just using our thumbs like most of the young kids are using nowadays. So it was a lot, and I also played a lot of the games that you played because I was raised in the country also. And we had to make up a lot of our own games. Right now, we're gonna have Sister Helen Hall come up, and she's gonna have your speaker of the morning.
And we want to just give them a hand, please, for coming. We really appreciate them for being here.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And I think it's probably safe because of where we are for me to say, praise the Lord. How
about that?
So glad to be here with you this morning. And as Ms. Helen said, we're from the Pinellas County Urban League. And LaDonna and I both work with a program of the Urban League called Highways to Health. That program is about bringing health to our community. So we have a mobile health unit that travels throughout the county to provide free blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, and BMI or body mass index screenings, free of charge to our community. The program has been in existence since 2014, and we are excited that we have probably provided close to 2,000 free screenings throughout Pinellas County in the last 2.5 years. So we're really happy about that. Today we're here to talk to you about diabetes, and just by a show of hands, if you don't mind sharing it with us, how many of you are diabetic? Okay, how many of you have been diagnosed pre-diabetic? And probably more hands should be up than that. It is a blood test, so you don't know, there's no symptoms with pre-diabetes, so you don't really know that you have it. But I would suggest if you haven't already had your doctor to screen you for it, ask them for it. That's going to be very important. And so for the next, we've got how many sessions with you? A few sessions with you. We're going to be combining education with a little fun. We're going to have you getting up and moving and doing a little bit of light exercise and all that. We want to screen you to find out how much you know about diabetes already. We're going to provide you with diabetes testing each week so that we can monitor what your blood sugar levels are. That will give you information to take back to your physician if any of your readings are not quite what they should be, and share that with your doctor. So we're planning to have a lot of fun. This is very interactive. We want you to talk. We don't want to do all the talking. We want to hear from you all too. And we're going to have a great time.
Thank you. So we're just going to go briefly over some of the logistics of it. We are going to have each one of you go ahead and sign in and complete a basic intake form. You only have to do that one time. We are also going to have you go ahead and do a pre-test. Why do we need to do a pre-test? Tell me, what's the purpose of that? Anybody?
To see how much you already know about the subject.
To see exactly, that's exactly right, Ms. Davis. What do you already know? And so what we have found over the course of time, individuals, even if they have the diagnosis of diabetes, they don't have much information about it. So we're going to do a pre-test, do an intake, and do a sign-in. And I promise this is the only time we're going to do all 3 documents with you this time, because the rest of the time we're really going to focus on getting into our subject matter. So what do we already know about diabetes? I'm going to start 2 sign-in sheets. What do we know about diabetes? And I'll come to you. What do we know? People who've had diabetes before, currently. What do we know about diabetes? See, this isn't me tell you, you tell us. We're going to share the information. What do we think we know about diabetes? Let's pick what?
You need to know your A1, A1C. And like I said, mine so far is real good.
Okay.
I'm on metformin.
Wonderful.
And they had me on 2, and my doctor for a long time, I just been on 1. And he told me stop sticking myself. It's because everything is good. So I do, she already know, Monday and Friday, I test my sugar, blood pressure, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Wonderful. Everybody give her a hand. So diabetes is a disease of the body that affects every single cell. It affects everything. It affects your eyes, it affects your kidneys, it affects your heart, and that's why you're taking your blood pressure so often so that you can monitor. And it's really because of the elevated level of blood glucose, but we call it sugar, right, in our system, and that's why you're testing multiple times. So wonderful. What else do we know about diabetes? We know that it can be controlled, right?
Right.
It can be controlled. So for those who are pre-diabetic, you have the ability to either delay or even prevent the onset of diabetes. Isn't that wonderful news to know? We also understand that diabetes, the symptoms can be worsened by lifestyle, right? So today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the ways diabetes affects our body. And then the second is we're going to talk about our own risk factors. Some of the risk factors are modifiable, right? Meaning we can change. And some of them, there's nothing we can do about it. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to give you 3 entire minutes to go ahead and complete your intake form, sign in, and do your pretest. And if we need more time, we'll do that. So your time is going to go ahead and start now. So when we talk about the nervous system, and I'm going to try to stay here so I can keep my notes together. She has her pretest done. How many people knew that your brain is a part of the nervous system? How many people knew that? It's actually only one portion of your nervous system, and it's located inside of your skull. It receives information from the entire body. It's basically the hub, right? And so our job is to protect our brain. Diabetes can affect your brain indirectly when the blood vessels or capillaries that nourish the brain, it can cause some damage to those nerve cells, okay? All right. The spinal cord, and we're going to have to actually do a project on this, is the portion of the nervous system located on the inside of the spinal column. And its job is to actually do the connecting, right? It receives the sensations of the body and can respond immediately without the brain becoming conscious of it. The nerves have different functions. The sensory nerves, that's why we don't want neuropathy to set in, right? Brings sensorial information throughout touch, taste, hearing, smell, and sight from the rest of the body through the spinal cord. What we're doing is we're showing you how everything is intricately connected. When God did this design, he was amazing at it. Everything was connected. Then the motor nerves carry information from the brain to the spinal cord so that we can actually have movement. So if a person wants to do physical exercise, then the brain orders walking. It is through the motor nerves that the muscles of the legs contract to begin to walk. Thank you. Then the autonomous word, and that is the involuntary functions like breathing, right? We don't think about breathing, thank God, because I would probably forget. We don't think about breathing. It's also, they control the functions of the internal organs, such as the heartbeat in response to an emotion, the movements of the bowels during digestion, and the secretions of substances from the glands like hormones, all right? Then we have our heart, and that's going to the cardiovascular system. What does the heart do? It pumps the blood, right? What happens when there's too much glucose in the bloodstream? It slows it down. It makes it harder. It makes it harder to work. It makes it work harder. And if your heart is working harder, what happens to your blood pressure? It goes up. And if the blood pressure goes up, what else happens? What could happen?
can have
Or a heart attack. So do you understand how all of that begins to connect? The artery, well, we already went through all of that. Really good. Then we have the digestive system, right? It's the system of organs that process and transport nutrients and waste. And so our digestive system is composed of the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, the colon, the rectum, the anus, the liver, the gallbladder, and pancreas. And so when you hear about those systems and you kind of understand what diabetes does, what do we think happens to these different systems that we keep eating or that we're having uncontrolled blood sugars? What happens? Right, it begins to affect it. And the main organ, other than our heart, when we think about diabetes, we think about our pancreas. Yes. So what I'm gonna have you do is a quick exercise, because I don't wanna keep standing up here talking about stuff that we kinda already know. So what we're gonna have you do is one person at your table is going to be the model. So the pancreas, what's your name? Bertha. Miss Bertha just told the secret. The pancreas is behind the stomach, right? Yeah. All right, so what you're gonna do is I'm gonna give you I'm gonna cheat a little bit and tell you what it kind of looks like, and you can put it on your body. You're right, that's exactly what it looks like. What's your name? Miss Sandra just told us what it should look like. She said it kind of looks like a scrambled egg. And so this is the shape of your pancreas. So roots back to the wall and put the pancreas in the body. You need that pancreas. What happens? We're gonna move quickly through some of this.
Reigning with my Savior.